what was it that you found with people was like what inspired people to care? And I say care because it seems to be the missing link a lot of times, and it has been for me in the past, where it's like you stop caring. And what do you think the reason is for that?
Well, when you know the secret sauce, and I'm about to tell you what it is, it becomes demystified. So we'd like to think that we're such sophisticated beings and we make decisions very logically and consciously, but we really don't. There
Oh.
are, no, right? Oh, that just took the shine off of it. There are five universal triggers that stem from emotions that drives people behavior, and we're going to focus on in the workplace,
Sure.
but it works with your kids too,
Oh,
your
good.
people around you. Yes. And so those five universal triggers boil down to, we've packaged it into our cares model so it's easy to remember.
Hmm.
So C stands for certainty. When you have uncertainty, so the brain likes to predict what's going to happen next. It makes you comfortable. So when there's uncertainty, the primitive brain takes over because we need to rely on our habits and our instincts when things are unfamiliar. What that does is it shuts down the logical part of the brain. And so when there's a lot of uncertainty, you can't think your way out of the problem, or it minimizes your ability to do that. So
Hmm.
people make poor decisions in
I've
often
done that.
cases,
Yeah.
or they're paralyzed. They don't know what to do, so they do nothing.
Hmm.
So A in the CARES model is autonomy. And autonomy is the perception that our behaviors will somehow influence the outcomes. Some people have a higher drive for autonomy, the need for autonomy than other people. But when you have even just a small choice, it gives you a sense of control,
Hmm.
and that is empowering. So for all of you who have kids out there who dislike doing their household chores, give them a choice. Would you rather make your bed or take out the garbage? Just giving them that little bit of control helps to reduce the friction that you might get from those requests.
I know a little boy that is all about control. That could be a good one.
He probably has a high drive for autonomy. So the
Yeah.
greater number of choices that you can give him, the happier he will be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why people hate micromanagers,
Oh
because
my
it takes
gosh.
away the autonomy, right?
Yes. Yes. So where does authorship come into that? Like I've recognized in my experience that, if you involve people in the process and, okay, well, just instead of micromanaging, you relinquish control and say, okay, come up with this idea and have it to me by X. Is that fit into that system somehow?
It absolutely does. So yeah, that's a high marker for autonomy, is giving people a choice of how to get from A to B. It doesn't take away the fact that you have to get to the destination point B, but how to get there often gives people more control to leverage their strengths,
Hmm.
which is another way of having autonomy in how you get work done.
Okay.
So autonomy boils down to time, task, and people. So who you want to engage or disengage to come along with you in the workplace.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So how do I identify? I mean, is it a blanket thing? Like, is everybody engaged by the same thing? Like, can we kind of do that and just say, okay, well, I'm going to do that exact example I just gave for everybody. Is that going to work for everybody, or do we have to identify different things?
So yes and no, and I'll just won't go into detail.